find your approach change as well once you get to this point compared to where you are at the beginning of the year, or do you just try to continue to keep the build going consistently?
Yeah, I think it kind of just builds over the course of the year and just evolves. I think naturally, just through the course of the game and the season, what you go through individually or as a team and what's going on across the league and the stage of the season, things just kind of naturally evolve. And especially when you've been through it a few times, you get a sense of how things kind of change and adapt and how you got to go about that yourself. So whether that's the actual gameplay or how you prepare, how you try to do different things to be as fresh and as ready as you can as the season becomes a grind and you go through a lot physically. So, it's just kind of the natural evolution of getting to this time of year.
The last one for me, is there a big benefit, John, to having a few days off here since the last game to get everybody who's new and acclimated and just almost to reset a little bit?
Well, certainly I think knowing now this is our group, I think it gives a couple days for certainly the guys we've added maybe to catch their breath a bit, get their lives not just at the rink but away from the rink sorted and settled, and taking care of some of those details that go along with being traded and going to a new spot. And then obviously with just acclimating to the team, getting a sense of how we do go about our daily business, how we practice, and obviously the way we want to play, and then just the overall feel for the group and getting to know one another. So good chance for all that. And the schedule is what it is, that we all have breaks and different things throughout the season, so it's up to us as a group and guys individually to maximize those times when there are some days to refresh and you have a little bit of break in terms in between of competing and playing games. So it's on you at those times to maximize the best you can.
John, how do you feel Max will fit in so you and William have your games can maybe complement each other?
Yeah, I mean, Max obviously sees the ice extremely well. He's a great passer and how he sees the ice, and I think for me that can work really well. Just develop that give and go type of game and trying to find him and find open ice, knowing he's got that type of vision to find you, and obviously have a good feel of playing for Will. But his game is built, I think, over the season really, really well in all areas, and the puck's been going in for him. More so, he's really shown some of how dynamic he can be open ice with some of the speed that he has. So those factors can obviously go a long way. And I think difference than from now to when we started the year together, just having a better feel for his game and how I can help him and complement that as well. So I want to build on it. I thought there were some good things in the night, even though it wasn't the most offensive game or whatnot, but just getting the space habits. Doing good things without the puck and building the game as the night went on and earning some chances that help contribute.
With Mitch out here now, what's the focus on the power play? What are you guys going to do to get that revved up again?
Yeah, I think the focus is the same. With or obviously unfortunate not to have Mitchie out there, but we got a great group. We obviously have a lot of talent to our lineup, so. For us, it's just we talk about the pace we want to play at and attacking inside the dots and being direct and just playing with a certain pace. That becomes very difficult to handle. Really, put teams on their heels and get so set in the structure that eventually create seams and lanes and openings in space in good spots to obviously let our shooters and anyone that's out there to make a play, which we've done very well throughout the year.
I've played both my whole life, so for the time being, it's not that hard. Wings, there's less responsibility defensively, I think, as a winger, and you can kind of time it a little bit easier. It's just a matter of getting chemistry with your line mates. So whoever you're playing with, as long as you're on the same page, it's pretty simple.
What's the chemistry like with John and William?
Good. Obviously, Will and I have been playing together for a while now. Starting to build some chemistry there, and John and I last game started to make some plays together and staying tight, and I think he knows how I play more. Obviously, now that we've gotten to know each other pretty well off the ice as well, and vice versa. So we'll just keep chipping away here.
Does playing on the wing accentuate your speed at all, or does it matter versus the center?
I think it'd be the opposite.
It's just better in the center, right?
Probably, yeah. But whether I'm playing wing or center, you just got to be moving your feet. Same thing.
Okay. What memory do you have of that moment your dad had in Philadelphia where the fan jumped in the box? Do you remember that as a kid at all? You're pretty young.
No, I don't. But I've seen the video. Yeah. A couple times.
Just a few times. You ever ask about that? Was that something growing up that you're like, what the heck happened there?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, I thought it was pretty cool, pretty normal.
Normal?
But I don't know. I'm not sure that fan was making the clearest decisions in that moment. Probably not a good idea. And I think, I mean, the way my dad explains it is he wasn't going to do anything. And then once he pushed the linesman or the ref who was in there, I mean, those are always his buddies, obviously, with the job he had. So he had to step in, and that's how he justifies it. And I'm on his side, so I think it's great.
Where do Philly fans rank in terms of hostile environments?
They're awesome.
Oh,
Philly
yeah?
fans are great. I love playing in Philly. They love their teams. I mean, all three. You look at, I mean, the Sixers, obviously the Flyers, and the Eagles. The Eagles is probably one of the hardest places to play, from what I've been told, in the NFL, and it gets pretty loud in there. And the Flyers is no different. So always look forward to playing in Philly.
Any memorable fan interactions for you over the years in Philly?
No.
Positive or negative?
No, they're great. Yeah, they're awesome. I love a passionate, loud fan base. It's that's what we want to play in front of. So it's a great place to play. I got a lot of respect for their organization. Bobby Clark was a hero of mine growing up, so nothing but respect for the Philadelphia Flyers.
What stands out about that team? It's they really surprised a lot of people with where they are right now on the team.
Yeah, they got a lot of good, I mean, players in their prime. I mean, obviously, look at what Konechny's done, bringing in Owen Tippett. He's an all-world talent. You see how he skates and whatnot. And then they got guys that have been there for a while, like Lawton and so on. I mean, they got a good group, so they're working hard and tough team to play against. We're looking forward to the challenge.
Speaking of working hard, what were you focusing on out there, Patrick?
Just some catch and release shots, different footwork with shooting and whatnot.
In your experience, Max, at this time of the year, final stretch after trade deadline, do you notice a change in the game in terms of how it's played and the intensity and all that?
Yeah, I think that starts. I mean, that's from game 1 to game 82. Every game you go along, it gets harder and harder because you get closer to the playoffs. So we've said that from Christmas. Really, you got to start up in your game, and this is what you want to play for. You want to play for a chance to be in the playoffs, and when you get there, anything can happen. And that's what we're focused on right now, is just taking it day by day and trying to get better as a group and prepare for trying to make it in the playoffs here.
Did this mini lull in the schedule come at a good time for the group?
Yeah, it's great. We'll take it. I mean, whether we had it or not, I think it's a nice time to gel as a group when you have a few new faces and whatnot. So a couple of good practices. I think Keefe for giving us a couple of days off was huge. Boys were fresh. Boys were flying and snapping around out there. So that's what you want to do and take full advantage of. The 4-day break, so to speak. It's not about doing these crazy long practices and stuff. It's just a matter of getting fresh and being ready to play on whatever it is against Thursday, I guess, right? Against Philly. So pretty excited about it.
For a long run at center, what's the key for Max moving back to the wing with those guys?
Just recognizing his responsibilities are a little bit different defensively, but offensively it's a little bit different too, where you can get ahead of the play a little bit more, as you saw in his goal in Montreal, and use speed that way, whereas from center he's kind of using his speed coming from below the play or below the puck and kind of leading the charge with the puck that way. In this case, you may be leading the charge a little more without the puck. So there's a little bit of an adjustment there, but it also leads to, I think, more pucks on the wide entries, which is a bit of a strength of Max in terms of playmaking ability. So, there's an adjustment there for sure, but I think that's more so just on our half of the red line. Other than that, it's really just kind of playing hockey.
All things being equal, with a healthy lineup, obviously injuries get in the way. Would you rather be solidifying lines, or are you quite happy to keep experimenting with lines going into the playoffs?
I mean, of course, you'd like to solidify some things and keep things consistent, but this time of the year brings different things, right? Whether right now it's Mitch's injury, and that's a significant player that changes the outlook of our team pretty dramatically, so you got to adjust accordingly. So that's really it. But I think we have a pretty good sense of our lines and combinations that work. We've been pretty consistent through the season for the most part. Obviously, an adjustment with John and how we've used him here in the last month or so, but throughout the season we've been fairly consistent all the way through, and the addition of Dewar, there's not a lot of change to the forward group.
What went into the switch with Nylander and Yarncroke in the top six?
Obviously, just didn't like them together the other night with in Austin. That's part of it, but also it's more so just getting John and Willie together and getting those guys on different lines. I mean, Austin and Will have played a lot of good minutes together through their time together this year or previous years, but so I don't want to overthink what went in Montreal, but it's a little more about getting John and Will together and having Will and Austin on two different lines as we go into this week's matchups.
Any update on Mitch?
No update on Mitch. He didn't skate today, so read into that what you will.
Has he skated prior to today? No, not since Thursday. Okay.
So you guys in the last phase of the schedule, Sheldon. What do you want to see from the group in terms of the approach here down the stretch of the regular season?
No different than any other time. You're seeking consistency as a group, both in your mindset. You're looking for cohesion. Like I said, we don't have a lot of change here, particularly on forward, but on defense, we've got some change, and we need that to come together. We need the group itself to continue to grow together. While there isn't change with the actual personnel that I've said on forward here lately, we do have a little bit of change in the sense that you got the emergence of someone like Bobby McMahon and how he's blossoming and giving us additional options. Holmberg and the way that he's come on, and then also with Bertuzzi coming on and Domi coming on, and John kind of coming on with his scoring offensively at 5-on-5. All these things just sort of give you additional options, and you want to work your way through that. But consistency in our effort and our approach, and special teams, all those sort of things, you really want to get fine-tuned.
Your team has a chance to be the first to win 20 road games, 3 straight seasons. How do you see that mentality growing in the last few years? How important is it, especially going to a place like Philly? Yeah,
I wasn't aware of that, but I do feel we've played better on the road than we have at home this season and the seasons past, perhaps. And we talked about it a little bit. It's hard to really pinpoint why that is. I do think the mindset's a little different away from home, generally speaking. I think we've had some good, or call it gutsy type efforts on the road in some tough circumstances at times. I think at home we've been less consistent with our play with the puck and some of our defensive play and how we've managed games late, like all those kind of things that have been less of issues on the road for whatever reason. But certainly you want to be a team that can be confident and comfortable in the other team's building, but clearly you also need to be able to bring that same type of approach onto home ice. So that's part of the consistency part we're looking for. No matter who the opponent or the building or the circumstance in the schedule, you want to look and feel the same.
Last one here. What are you looking for from Yarncrook on that top unit, on the power play, and in general, just what are you looking for from that group to get revved up again here?
Well, for the group in general, just kind of get in sync and get some pace. As the players come out of this little break we've had, we're hoping that we're refreshed, and that in itself just kind of sparks us offensively, in terms of how coordinated and in sync we are. In terms of Yarncrook's presence on that group, we think it's the right shot. He's plays basic, whether it's the breakout or on the face-off or in the zone even, plays the same role that Mitch plays on the second unit. So he's very familiar in that sense, and it gives us another right-handed option on the power play there, which is important. And for Guy, with how he wants to work it, it's really important to him. So tried it with the additional lefty last time and didn't like it as much. And Yarncrook is a guy that you give him a plan, tell him what you need from him, and he's going to do everything he can to make it happen. And really, it's just about kind of keeping things moving for the other guys that are normally on that group.
Sam, your Joseph?
Samsonov.